Welcome to Own Your Words. Not enough room to swing a cat. Idiom, meaning with examples. Meaning. 1. If you say there's no room to swing a cat, or you can't swing a cat, you mean that the place you are talking about is very small, or crowded. 2. Said about a place, or space that is very small. 3. Very little or no space, cramped quarters or proximity. Examples. 1. She said wearily, "You can't live here. There's not enough room to swing a cat." 2. Many families are forced to live in tiny apartments, with not enough room to swing a cat. 3. There's not enough room to swing a cat, in some flats in central London. 4. I'd rather live in this old house than in one of those pokey, new bungalows where there's no room to swing a cat. 5. It was described as a large, luxury mobile home, but there was barely room to swing a cat. 6. We don't have any room to swing a cat here, how will all that stuff fit in? 7. Isn't this place a bit too small? There's no room to swing a cat in here. 8. There's not enough room to swing a cat in here, how do you plan to get in a couch as well? 9. How do you expect all 4 of us to stay in that room? There's no room to swing a cat in there. 10. We had a piano in the house, despite there not being room to swing a cat. 11. My new office is tiny, there's not enough room to swing a cat. Not mince your words. Idiom, meaning with examples. Meaning. 1. To say what you mean clearly and directly, even if you upset people by doing this. 2. To speak in a very direct, and honest way without worrying about offending someone. 3. If you say that someone does not mince their words, you mean that they in a forceful and direct way, especially when saying something unpleasant to someone. 4. To say exactly what you think, even if this might offend people. 5. To speak very bluntly and directly, without regard for someone else's feelings. A possessive adjective can be used between mince and words. Examples. 1. The report does not mince words, describing the situation as ludicrous. 2. He doesn't mince words, when it comes to giving his opinion about the new law. 3. The boss didn't mince words in my performance evaluation. She said if I didn't improve, I'd be fired. 4. The report does not mince words, describing the situation as extremely serious. 5. Never one to mince words, Carly told her daughter that her looks were fading. 6. Wow, your aunt really doesn't mince words. Is my sweatshirt really that ugly? 7. Let me know what you think of the story when you're done, and, please, don't mince your words. 8. Xi did not mince words, either, according to China's summary of the talks. 9. Jealous does not mince words about how the IRA is shaping his strategy at the Sierra Club. 10. That was the great thing about country music, it did not mince words. Not someone's cup of tea. Idiom, meaning with examples. Meaning. 1. If something is not your cup of tea, it is not the type of thing that you like. 2. If something is not your cup of tea, it's not what you like or what you're interested in. 3. Not something one prefers, desires, enjoys, or cares about. 4. Said to mean that, you are not very interested in something. Examples. 1. Thanks for inviting me, but ballet isn't really my cup of tea. 2. The opera is not my cup of tea, but I can see how people may like it. 3. Thank you for the invitation, but long-distance cycling just isn't really my cup of tea. 4. Action movies aren't really my cup of tea. I prefer dramas and comedies, to be honest. 5. Karen knows all that New Age spiritual stuff isn't my cup of tea, so why would she give me a book on star signs and astrology for my birthday? 6. That side of the business thing is not my cup of tea, Vister said. 7. We've tried it before, and it's not his cup of tea as he just didn't settle in, Hayes said. 8. I therefore took up BSc Mathematics, but it was not my cup of tea, and I didn't enjoy it, says Mahesh. 9. I sat down with John after golf and I was like, look, I don't have any intentions of ever owning a golf course, it's just not my cup of tea. Not sit well with someone. Idiom, meaning with examples. Meaning. 1. To be difficult for someone to agree with, or accept. 2. Used with words such as well, comfortably, etc. To mean that someone does not like something. 3. If a situation, plan etc. does not well with someone, they do not like it. 4. To not be agreeable to one's values, or sensibilities. Examples. 1. The principal's decision did not sit well with many parents. 2. He had never before been accused of stealing, and it did not sit well with him. 3. The adornment, thought Eloise smugly, would not sit well amidst so much blubber. The populist vision of a peasant land-holding democracy does not sit easily with alternative visions of women's rights. 5. This conviction did not sit well either with regimental soldiering, or with Whitehall. 6. He had never before been accused of stealing, and it did not sit well with him. 7. The closures, which began late last month, does not sit well with many of the regulars. 8. The volatility and their non-guaranteed status, do not sit comfortably with the official line linking the two benefits. 9. The idea that some children have to go hungry, in this country just doesn't sit well with me. 10. Such an attitude would not sit well with, the presumption of innocence. Nothing to write home about. Idiom, meaning with examples. Meaning. 1. When something is nothing to write home about, it is unremarkable, ordinary, and not very exciting. 2. Not especially impressive, remarkable, or noteworthy, rather dull, mediocre, uninteresting, or unimportant. 3. If you say that something is nothing to write home about, you mean that it is not very interesting or exciting. 4. If you say something is nothing to write home about, you mean it isn't very important or it isn't very good. 5. Not very good or appealing, ordinary. Examples. 1. Kentucky's offense has been, nothing to write home about this season. 2. So a dreary Monday afternoon in Walthamstow is, nothing to write home about, right? 3. But you look at his track record in football, and it is nothing to write home about. 4. We expected the movie to be great, but it was nothing to write home about. 5. The party was nothing to write home about, there wasn't any music or food. 6. His career was nothing to write home about, he only ever played small parts in B-movies. 7. Stafford's final 2 seasons with the Lions were, nothing to write home about. 8. We saw a movie today and it was nothing to write home about. It was just a typical action movie. 9. It gets good reviews, but the new sushi restaurant is, really nothing to write home about. 10. I got a little bit of a raise this year, but it was nothing to write home about. 11. My record is nothing to write home about, 2 wins and 4 losses on clay this year, he added. If you like the video, please hit the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for more videos. Meanings and examples are available in video description.